Hey everybody, welcome back to Pillars of the Earth. We might actually be able to finish this book, and we're definitely going to finish this chapter, but I think the next one's pretty short, so we'll see how it goes. Let's get started here. We grabbed all of the stuff. Stone relief.
Throw them into the blazing furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
What?
Hell. It is a depiction of hell. I told you of heaven and hell once before. Do you remember?
Of course. The bishop said the relief intimidates even his most impious visitors. They all fear death. I'm not afraid to die. Do not fear those who kill the body. Rather fear him who can destroy both soul and body. In hell. Who's he?
The devil. A fallen angel.
I have nothing to be afraid of. The cowardly, the unbelieving, the vile, the murderers, the sexually immoral, those who practice magic arts, the idolaters, and all liars. Their souls are the devil's. They will all go to hell. Stop it! Hell is far away. I'm not afraid.
Maybe not so far away from you.
And if anyone's name was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire.
What's that? It's from the scripture. The end of days.
The second death of the sinners.
Bishop Waleran said that if a sinner stares into the flame, the devil stares back from the lake of fire. What?
I can't see him. What is it?
We ride back to Winchester. Now! What happened?
Maybe he saw things to come.
How can I thank you?
Tell me, what is being built out there?
What?
A substantial construction is underway, it seems.
Yes, but
What is it?
a castle. The bishop is building a castle.
A castle? Why a castle?
I don't know. It is not for me to ask or question the bishop.
Of course.
And I doubt it's for you to question him either. That man, William, had no idea why you two came here, had he? You came here to spy on the bishop. You brought this man here. Leave! Go! But leave the tableware.
I only wanted to tidy up the table.
Of course. I knew you couldn't be trusted ever since I saw you stealing apples and hay when you first came here.
It was an honest mistake. I didn't mean to steal it. It's like lighters, you know? It just happens.
There you are. My son seemed thoughtful when he returned.
You priests and your talk. You always get to him.
He seemed more excited after talking to your bishop, though. Then again, we know Waleran is good with words. Don't we, my husband?
Of course, yes.
Speaking of Waleran, what did you find, monk?
A construction site.
Ah. So Waleran has a building project of his own. Did you also find out what he is building?
A castle.
Yes. He is building a castle for himself. and he used up every stone and every tree on his own lands. He claims he wants Bartholomew's land for your cathedral. But what Wayleran wants is a castle.
He's always been like that.
Not long ago, you accused us of being selfish. But what about your bishop, eh?
What do you want from me?
As Prior of Kingsbridge, you will agree that my husband shall have the whole earldom of Shiring.
And why would I do you a favor like that?
Because we will support the rebuilding of your cathedral with our stones and our timber.
The king can live up to all of his promises, and Wayleran gets nothing.
That is our offer. What do you say?
Nah.
No, we have no deal.
Why not?
We made you a good offer.
You need me. The king still considers giving all the lands of the earldom to Wayleran to rebuild our cathedral. You need this deal with me just as much as I do.
This is... Oh. We taught this fool well, it seems.
What are your terms, Father?
What is more valuable, arable land or forest?
Arable land, of course.
Then you shall have the arable and I'll have the forest.
I need the forest to hunt. An earl must have his hunting grounds.
You can hunt there. I just want the timber for my cathedral.
Ugh,
Which do you want, the cattle pastures or the sheep grazings?
the pasture.
Then I'll have the hill farms with their sheep. Would you like the income from markets or the quarry?
Suppose we said the quarry.
You won't, though, will you?
No. We'll take the markets. You can have the stones.
It is agreed, then?
We have a pact. My husband will let the king know of our agreement. Bishop Wayleran will be quite surprised. You will see his true face when he does not get what he wants.
Well, that worked out pretty well. Playing Let's Make a Deal, and worked out pretty well. He's a good negotiator, I guess. Is it the bishops who I need to talk to? Yeah.
Ah, Philip, what is it?
About Bartholomew's confession.
Maybe you can get him to confess.
I do not believe my prior can do more than you could, Henry.
Perhaps he knows he will die, no matter what he says.
He confessed to everything, but he asks for clemency for his children.
Good. I will let my brother know what we have achieved today once he returns from the hunt.
Good, Philip. You did well.
About Bartholomew's children.
My brother was never one to judge a man by the deeds of his father. Still, I shall mention Bartholomew's request to him.
Maybe I should come back tomorrow.
Yes, there is not much a monk can do here.
Yes, your bishop and I will do what we can to help your priory.
My loyal subject, Percy Hamley, today becomes the Earl of Shiring. Of the former Earl's possessions, Percy shall have the castle. And all the land that is tenanted to knights, plus all other arable land and low-lying pasture.
I swear by all that is holy to be your liegeman, and to fight for you against any other.
My king...
Ah, yes. Of course, I have not forgotten the worries of my bishops. The Earl of Shiring himself, Percy here, solved this problem for me. Thanks to him, I can uphold my promise. Don't worry, Bishop Wayleran. Kingsbridge shall be rebuilt. Percy told me of a man here whom my brother has not yet introduced. Come forward, Prior.
my brother, may I present to you Philip of Gwynedd?
My king.
You seem afraid. What are you worried about?
I'm worried about my priory and the cathedral.
I heard about the fire. How are you managing?
On the day of the fire, God sent us a builder, but we cannot pay him.
Don't worry, you can. Now, about the arrangement between you and Percy Hamley. He insisted that I give the sheep grazings belonging to the former Earl to the Priory of Kingsbridge. The Priory will also have the right to take stone from the Earl's quarry and timber from his forest. I wholeheartedly agree with the plan you two have devised. It shall be done.
Thank you.
Thank you, my lord.
It seems unnecessarily complicated to give the land to the bishop. Percy told me that you, Father Philip, share that sentiment. He told me it was your idea to take up the burden of managing the rebuilding of the cathedral yourself.
Wonderful.
I'm glad that we all were able to help you, Bishop Waleran, in this pressing matter. After all you have done for me.
Thank you, Lord King.
Bartholomew lost everything in his attempt to end my reign. This morning he was found dead in his cell. I've heard that you, Prior, worry for his children, Richard and Aliena. While they shall lose their status, their name, and their land, they shall go free, wherever they are.
You must be very proud, Lady Hamley.
Of course. Father Philip has been very understanding in all this.
Yes, he is remarkable. Very remarkable.
My husband and I were terrified when we heard about the fire in Kingsbridge. It is a blessing that we can help him and his priory now.
You sowed the wind, Philip.
Apparently he thinks we're undermining him. Which we kind of are, but he's also not telling us that he wanted all the stuff for his own castle. It's whatever. I'm not concerned. Yeah, that was weird. Supposed to say the rise of Kingsbridge there, but it kind of faded away too soon.
Is everyone ready?
Yes, everyone will be there.
But how are we to pray and contemplate like this? I don't dare even to send my choir out there.
We shall get used to it, all of us.
We must be thankful for all of this, for each noise, each face that disturbs us here.
And the more disturbing the face, the more we must
We shall
thank the
start
Lord.
with the chancel, then gradually work our way from east to west. That's the way it's done, the way I was taught to do it.
I value your enthusiasm, my dear Mason, but so far we're only cleaning up. I haven't even considered hiring a master builder yet, neither you nor anyone else.
May I show you some drawings?
By all means.
I'll point out the details.
You look here first. Imagine you're standing in the center of the nave, looking at the wall. This is what you see.
Are those windows?
Right, but that's not all. On top are the clear-story windows. Starting right in the middle is the Tribune Gallery. Shall I go on?
Yes, yes, of course. I was just thinking. Keep going.
On the lowest level are the pillars of the arcade. They're joined by arches making up the bays. Through the archways you can see the windows in the aisle.
I can see you've put a lot of thought into this. I was just wondering, how long would this take to build? You can take your time with that answer.
Well, that depends on how many people you employ. If you can afford 60 masons, you could build the whole church at once instead of working from east to west. That might take 8 years, maybe 10.
I wish my monastic officials had your ability to think ahead and calculate. Go on now, show me the rest of your drawing.
When we walk around the site, we mark where the walls will be, the pillars, the doors and buttresses. Now for that we need a plan like this, to tell us where to place our pegs and string.
Is this how birds would see our church?
Exactly. The nave is on the left. It has 6 bays.
And the chancel?
The chancel will have 4 bays.
I can see the transept is 2 bays wide, so it will be 12 in total. It does look splendid, but isn't that rather small?
It would be smaller, but not less impressive.
I guess a small cathedral would be closer to our means. It is still also uncertain. The king grants us timber and stone and wool from Shiring's pastures. But only God knows if it will be enough. I don't suppose you have any idea how much this would cost.
I know exactly how much this would cost. It would be no more than £3,000.
I've spent the last few weeks working out the annual income of the Priory. Here's the answer. £300 a year. And we spend every penny. So, I need to find £200 a year. It doesn't sound so bad when you put it that way. You really want to build this cathedral yourself, don't you?
Yes, Father. I want you to appoint me Master Builder.
Why?
Because he wants to give people hope.
Is that so? Then answer me this one last question. If people were to enter your church, what image would they see crowning the tympanum above the entrance? One of Judgment Day to teach people to be good? Or one of paradise to remind them of God's mercy?
Show them how, so that they're afraid to do bad things.
Whoa.
I'd rather see trees and animals.
Remind them of God's
It should be the
mercy.
promise of a better life. Therefore, it will show heaven.
Yes.
This is quite exciting, isn't it, brother?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Francis.
I'm just glad that I can be a part of this. In the past year, I was often afraid that my involvement in politics might turn out, well, let's just say that I'm glad that I can still be by your side, Philip. And for that, I thank God, and I thank you too.
Papa, will there be statues inside? Statues?
Oh. That's enough, children. It's time you went out and played. Prior,
Yes?
my first wife, Agnes. She died without a priest, and she's buried in unconsecrated ground. Sometimes a man builds a chapel, or founds a monastery, in the hope that in the afterlife God will remember his piety. I just wonder, do you think my design might serve to protect Agnes's soul?
God no longer asks for blood sacrifices, for the ultimate sacrifice has already been made. But the lesson of Abraham's story is that God demands the best we have to offer, that which is most precious to us. So you must ask yourself, is this design the best thing you could offer?
Except for my children. Yes.
Then rest easy, Tom Builder. God will accept it.
Because that's the child his wife gave birth to before she died. The monk found it. Contract dated February 1st, 1136. I, Philip of Gwynedd, in representation of Kingsbridge Priory, hereby assign Tom Builder as master builder for the construction of Kingsbridge Cathedral. The priory will provide £200 a year and be used wholly for materials and craftsmen. The pace of construction shall be adjusted accordingly and adhere to plans approved by the prior, blah, blah, blah. It's all fairly standard. Seems to be in order. Alright, let's see.
Jack, do me a favor and give Paul these herbs, will you?
But he's a monk. You don't like monks.
Well, it turns out not all of them are bad. Still, be careful before you trust any one of them.
There he is! Give our prior the welcome he deserves!
Oh, you know, I am only following God's will.
Prepare to raise the bell! Make the prior proud!
Well, thank you.
Go on, Jack. Don't forget about Paul's herbs.
Where have I seen that woman before?
Right. Busy place.
This is from my mother.
Oh, bless her. Boy, whatever Remedius says, your mother is a saint. Oh, is that the bell? Can you see it from here? A bell without a cathedral. Your father certainly had strange ideas.
It might be. What's a bell?
Excuse me. You. I remember you. You're the boy with no father.
Actually, I have two fathers now.
Is that so?
Yes. Tom Builder and Jack Sherbug.
I thought you weren't the builder's son.
Well, I am now.
I have to say, Prior Philip told me there would be a lot of sheep here. I can see he wasn't exaggerating.
You know Philip too?
I do. He's the reason I'm here. Is he around?
He should be around somewhere. Busy man, that fellow. But don't worry. You probably won't have to look for him for long.
All right. Thank you.
She's being watched.
Shall we go after them?
No. Now we know where we can find them.
Ha! Ho!
My bishop, William Hamley, has returned to see you.
Send him in, Timothy. We have much to discuss.
Alright, we finished book 1. So, thanks for joining me with that. And,
Next time on the Pillars of the Earth.
Oh, here we go.
Find out what happened to me and my brother Richard after the siege of our father's castle. What will the future hold in store for Kingsbridge? The Pillars of the Earth. Sowing the Wind.
That was cool. Pretty big cast. Ken Follett plays the Cantor. The guy that wrote the book. So yeah, this is pretty interesting so far. I think I will go back to do book 2, and in the meantime, we're gonna be doing something else on Mondays and Saturdays. It'll be something probably a little more, I don't know, lighthearted, I suppose you would say. But I'm not gonna do the whole credits here because, you know, we'll see them at the end of the game again, I'm sure. So yeah, now that we'll continue on with book 2 once that gets started, and hope you have a good rest of your week. We got more Knights and Bikes tomorrow, Sea of Stars on Wednesday, same old schedule, and then something new on Saturday. So hope you enjoy, and join us then, and we'll see you next time. Later.